Hi there boys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. Right, the AMX 5100 Tier 8 Heavy on the French Tech Tree line. We're rolling out here with Lewis Ilikoski from GTC2, and yeah, it's a very interesting tank, the AMX. Best way to think of it, it's either a very under-armoured heavy tank, which technically its classification within the game is a heavy tank, or it's a very slow medium tank. And that's almost the way you do have to think about the tank when you decide what playstyle you're going to adopt with it. Now the reason I say that is the tank does, with the top engine mounted, about 30 kilometers per hour, which would make it pretty slow for a medium tank at this tier. But for a heavy tank, it has got virtually no armour. Effectively, even with the top turret mounted, you're only looking at 90mm of armour on the front of the turret. Around the sides and the rear of this tank, you're looking at 30mm of armour. So certainly not the kind of armour profile that you would normally expect to see on a heavy tank. And you're certainly in danger of being HE penned at the side or the rear from enemy heavies and TDs. So that really does, to a certain extent, determine how you need to play the tank. Now, the big benefit bonus with this tank is it has a auto loading gun. If you get the top gun mounted, you have a 3-shell auto loader, which is going to be knocking out around 300 alpha with standard AP rounds. Which obviously does give you the ability to do almost 1,000 hit point damage if you manage to get your whole clip into a single target. But then, of course, you have the reload to contend with, and the reload to reload the magazine with the top gun mounted is around 20 seconds, 21 seconds, I think. So there are a number of factors here that means you just have to think a little bit about how you play this tank. There are a lot of very good heavies at tier 8, a lot of premium heavies at tier 8, and you're certainly going to struggle a little bit if you get into it with him. Now, Lewis had a pretty slow start to this game, and as you can see, I mean, his hit points have taken quite a pounding. He's put the gun to good work. He's managed to pick up a couple of kills. But as you can see, he really is struggling a little bit with the armor profile on this tank, because he has taken a couple of big hits. So you really do have to think about how you drive this one. You can't simply just roll out with the other heavies and front line this tank. You really do have to think about it. Think of it more of an ambush hunter. You get your 3 shells into the bad guys, and then you're using the 20-second reload to keep your tank safe, to relocate, and then potentially dole out more damage so that you can do things like this, which is get all 3 of your shots into a single target and drastically reduce their hit points. I think that, I don't know, either they say E75 is AFK or he's suicidal, one of the two, I'm not certain which. Lewis does a nice job here. He's the E75 is unspotted, but he's remembered where he was, throws out a shot across the map there and manages to get a kill with a blind shot there for kill number 3. But yeah, this is certainly a tank you have to think about where you put it, without a doubt. It can be very, very effective tank if driven well. You do have the capability of racking up some good damage numbers, but you really do have to think about keeping your hit points protected as much as possible, because yeah, you really are in danger of getting some nasty penetrations if somebody manages to hit you with some HE. But not a bad game there from Lewis. Second class mastery, just under 2,500 damage and 3 kills. Well done, my friend. Okay, the next 2 games are from Dennis from GTC1. He obviously had a pretty good session in this tank. And here we are on Mayan Ruins. Now, as you can see, Dennis has opted in this particular battle to push on the medium side of the map. So this is effectively going to hopefully negate taking damage from larger hitting tanks, potentially with HE shells. And to a certain extent, that is something that is something you do have to think about with this tank. It just is. Designating it as a heavy, I think, is yeah, it really is an odd one. And to a certain extent, for your teammates who don't necessarily, or who might not necessarily have a lot of knowledge of this tank or its limitations, some of them might not appreciate that that a heavy tank is not going to be frontlining in the traditional role that a heavy tank does. But you simply can't drive it that way, not particularly effectively anyway. You'd have to be quite lucky with it. This is what you do with the tank. You isolate off targets, you change location during your long reload, and you do your very best to empty your entire clip and then take cover again. Relocate and wait for the reload over 20 seconds, as I've already said. So Dennis is doing very nicely here. We've already picked up the 1 kill. We've reduced the last enemy med down to a 1-shot. Now he's in the middle of his reload here, so he's deciding to leave the 1-shot tank for his teammate to clear up, and he's going to head up here and hopefully start unloading these shells into the back of the Tiger here, try and get him cleared. And as you can see, very effective when you can get round a tank and start throwing in the damage there. So that is the Tiger cleared up. The last enemy med on the other flank has been cleared up also. So it's looking a pretty simple win for the green team at this point. Doing very well so far. Already racked up over 2200 damage, and we've still got plenty of hit points available. So we've now got full reload on. His hit points are looking reasonably healthy for this stage of the game. So we're going to whack all 3 shells into the same target here, and we take this guy out for kill number 2. And we're up to just under 3000 damage now with 2 enemy tanks remaining. And doing exactly the right thing here, keeping himself in cover, keeping himself safe, waiting for his reload, and then we're going to go out and cause more havoc. Now Dennis has decided to isolate onto the IS here. He's the lower hit point target, and if he manages to get all 3 shells into him, should be able to get another gun cleared, which he does. Kill number 3. And yeah, we've still got half of his hit points left. There's only 1 enemy tank remaining, waiting patiently for his last reload. I'm sure he wants this thing to reload even quicker. He wants to pick up another kill here. Reload manages to just come back online for Dennis to get the last shot into the back of the gravedigger there, and he picks him up for kill number 4. So fantastic game there. It really does show the strengths of this tank when it is driven well. A well-deserved ace mastery, just under 4000 damage and 4 kills. Okay, and same player, same tank, this time on Desert Sands, and this time Dennis is going to play it slightly differently. He is actually going to drive the heavy flank, so gives you a good opportunity to effectively see how the tank can be effective against enemy heavy tanks. But again, you're going to see that he plays it. He plays the strengths of the tank. But he's also very conscious of the weaknesses of the tank. So during his sort of long reloads, he's relocating, and he's doing his very best to preserve his hit points. It is what you have to do. It is a tank. You do really have to think about how you play it. So we've got an isolated target here, trying to get sneaky cap on B, gets him tracked beautifully, gets all 3 shells into him, and there we go, a nice start. Keep his tank safe, and let's get the reload on. And we're not hanging around whilst waiting for this reload. We've seen we've got an isolated enemy Tiger 1. So whilst the reload's coming, we're going to head round here, get this guy isolated off, take the cap off the C cap here, and then we're going to come out and give this guy the full benefit of this auto reloading gun, which is a very nice gun. There we go, all 3 into the same target again, and his teammate manages to clear this guy up. He hangs around just for a second, establishes the cap on C. So this is looking very good for the green team here. So now we've got a Ho-Re sitting at the back of the map. So yep, Dennis waiting for his reload, and rinse and repeat. Now we've got the reload established. His teammate has pushed onto the Hobie, so he's going to head straight over here, give him a hand, and again start whacking in the damage. That's exactly what this tank is good at. So here we go. There's the second one gone in, and there we go, number 3, and yeah, he's doing very well so far. We're well over 2,500 damage. Already picked up a kill and 2 bases up, and this flank has been cleared, so it's now just a question of getting over here and giving the enemy team on this flank some bad news. Still a pretty close battle to a certain extent. We were, you know, it's a 4-on-4. These guys have sort of bunched together a bit, so he's got plenty of targets in front of him, and does take the opportunity to keep his tank in cover here. Gets a sneaky shot under the rail car there. Very nice play. Now we've got, again, 20 seconds for the reload, so we're going to relocate. Going to head over here, back up our teammates, and use the opportunity to keep the tank in cover whilst the reload goes on. Very effective play. It is simply the way that you need to drive this tank if you wish to be successful in it. So come around here, we want to clear up the low hit point targets here. So there goes another one for kill number 2, and another low hit point target for kill number 3, and he's racked up 4,500 damage now. Cleared out 2 tanks there, so this is almost certainly going to be a win for the green team. So it's just simply a question now of trying to rack up a bit more damage, and as we come out here, yeah, we managed to get one more shell in. Somebody else clears him up for the kill, and then T49 is taken out by a teammate to finish the game and get a well-deserved win for green. Another ace mastery, 4,831 damage, and 3 kills. Fantastic display of what this tank is capable of, but it is a tank that you do need to think about the way that you are going to drive it. Okay, I'd like to thank Lewis and Dennis for their replays for the video this week. Thank you all for watching, and as always, good hunting, and bye for now.